Bucks here, and today we are continuing our playthrough of the Curse of Strahd. Um, the party had left off last week after going through all of the trials and hardships of the Death House. The party just managed to escape as the building was crumbling around them and collapsing. And when we ended our last session, the party was literally just lying in the middle of the road, exhausted, out of breath after fleeing the terrors of the Death House. Asuin is currently unconscious but stable, and Fester is in pretty bad shape as well. And as Arius, Fester, Asuin, and Snug kind of stand here and marvel at the ordeals they just survived, all of you see a man walking down the street in your direction. He's easily identifiable as a blue-scaled dragonborn, and as he's walking down the road, he seems to be talking to someone you can't see.
Arius will pick himself up, kind of dust himself off a little bit and attempt to approach the man.
You there? Speaking to the man that's attempting to approach me.
Yes. Can I ask, where are we? Where can we find the nearest town?
That's funny. I was actually going to be asking you the same thing. Although first I was about to help these children and defeat the monster inside this house. But I see no house now.
I fear you are being deceived by these children. These children are not really children. They are actually spirits of the dead. They also lured my companions and myself into the house, where we were set upon by many monsters, shall we say, the undead, spirits, things of that nature. However, after defeating one of the creatures, the house began to collapse. It was all we could do to escape with our lives. Unfortunately, a number of our companions could not make it. And my friend here, I motioned to Asuin as I said that is not in very good shape, and so I would need to find a town to help tend his wounds.
As you mentioned needing a town, you start to really take in your surroundings. The rest of you find yourself on this dirt road where you were standing, and the area is still very much shrouded in fog. However, you can see that there are other buildings that litter the road here. And the collapsed building is the one closest to you, but you see there are a great many other residences and things, and you find yourself inside what appears to be a small village.
Huh. Well, isn't that convenient? I have not thought myself so close to a town. Great Elfin, what is your name? I am Arius.
My name is Kriv.
Kriv, it is a pleasure to meet you. Now, would I be correct in assuming that you happened here in a similar fashion as we? Or are you a native of this land?
No, I'm not a native of this land. I've been trying to find out where I've been since I've got here.
I see. So it seems that you have met the same misfortune as me and my companions.
We are in hell! Ah!
Yes, it would certainly seem close to that, although I don't think hell is so well furnished with buildings. Nonetheless, shall we venture together? Perhaps find somewhere to rest.
Yes, that would be fine. Your friend there, laying on the ground. How bad is he?
Well, he is not in much danger of dying. However, his wound will need to be tended before he can regain consciousness. Perhaps he just needs somewhere to rest, but I would feel better if we could find somewhere for him to receive medical attention.
So I'm going to bend down and use lay on hands and give him at least one health point.
Okay. All right. It's enough to wake you up from being unconscious. However, you are still gravely hurt.
Where am I? What's going on? Who are you?
Steady there, friend. He is another lost soul, such as we. I take it, my friend, you are a healer as well.
I dabble with some healing magic, yes. Now come warrior. Stand up.
Yeah, I'll let down a hand and try and help Arsenal into his feet.
I don't need your help when I stand up on my own.
Very well. Where should we be off to then?
Well, perhaps further into the town.
Okay. As you guys start advancing towards the center of the town, you see that there are tall shapes that loom out of the dense fog that surrounds everything. The muddy ground underfoot gives way to slick, wet cobblestones, and the tall shapes become recognizable as village dwellings. The windows of each house stare out from pools of blackness. It is eerily silent as you move your way through the town, except for one thing. You can hear what appears to be very mournful sobbing, echoing throughout the streets from a great distance.
Perhaps we should head towards the sounds of life. However, I would be cautious. The last time somebody entreated us for help, we ended up in that house.
Indeed.
Ignore sobbing. Their problem. Rest first. Ah!
I assume we could find a place to rest.
Yes, it would be a good idea. Sounds of life are often a good indication of there being somewhere to rest, and perhaps we can ask them.
Do any of these buildings look like an inn of sort?
An inn?
Yeah, maybe an inn or a tavern?
As you look around all the buildings, they all look similarly, unremarkable. But forward down the road, you can see that there are several larger buildings. It's easy enough to assume that might be a good place to start looking.
Well, let's head to one of these buildings first. Maybe they have beds.
A good idea.
Check this one first.
Yeah, give me a sec. Um. Alright, so as you approach the first building, you can see a small sign hanging in front of the window. And the sign, it doesn't have any pictures. It's just a small wooden structure. And written in common, it says Bildrath's Mercantile. And the very few rays of light from the building spills out from behind heavily drawn curtains. And the sign swings in the air, and you can hear the sign creaking on its hinges.
Never really liked these towns. Let's just head inside.
Did you say that there appeared to be light coming from in between the boards?
Yep.
Okay, can I take a peek through one of the cracks to see if I can see what kind of place it is inside?
Inside the Mercantile, it's not a very large establishment. It's maybe 70 feet long on the longest side. And when you look inside, you see a very bored-looking human male, kind of slumped behind the counter with his head in his hand, looking through a book on the counter.
Well, it looks...
Well, perhaps we can ask the man for help. There appears to be somebody inside. He does not seem in the best of spirits.
Okay, so what are we doing?
Are we heading inside?
Going inside.
Okay, we're heading inside.
Alright, pushing the door open, the man looks up at you, and he kind of scans the party, and he doesn't say anything. He just kind of lets out a bored little... and goes about thumbing through the ledger.
Okay. Fester hobbles up to him and goes, "Ah! Do you know your house, your town is haunted?"
He looks up at you, and he's got a very sad expression on his face. And he kind of, looks just dead in your eyes. He says, "Haunted? Well, sir, ghosts are the least of our things. This is Barovia, after all."
And Fester hobbles away.
Arius will approach the man next and say, "Please forgive the intrusion, but do you happen to know of a place where we can find some rest?
Some rest?
Perhaps an inn."
Well, I don't know about an inn. We don't really have such a thing here in town. Maybe if you're looking to relax a little, across the road at the Blood of the Vine Tavern, they can sit you for a spell if you're providing coin. And I suppose if you really need somewhere to sleep for the night, there's always the church. They'll take in anybody and give them sanctuary.
Say we go to the place across the road.
Sure. Why not?
As you turn to leave the establishment, he's like, Whoa. I believe I was more than amicable. Do you not intend to buy anything?
What do you have?
I kind of look around. What does he seem to have to sell?
When you look around the shop, you can see that it's adventuring gear, things that you would find in any mercantile or like sundry store. but he doesn't seem to have anything very spectacular. It would be anything in this table, but nothing more valuable than 25 gold.
Could I try to sell him something?
Sure.
Hold on, real quick. Okay, Fester simply hobbles on out and says, "Ka! Rest first, shop later. Ka!"
Okay, I'm gonna set the sling that I picked up on the table and ask him how much it would be.
He looks at it and he kind of pokes it with a finger and he says, "This is a child's toy. Why would I purchase this?"
To sell to a child?
I'll give you 10 copper pieces.
Sure enough.
Alright. Is that all? Anything else?
How much for a lantern?
A lantern. What kind? Bullseye, hooded?
Hood.
He looks at it and he says, "I'll give you 2 gold and 5 silver."
No, I want to buy one.
Oh, sir. No. I lost my page. Excuse me. He looks down and he's like, "Oh, of course I have what you need. It'll only cost you 250 gold."
I'm going to walk up to the man and ask how much are his rations.
He looks you over, and you can see he kind of has this look of distaste from interacting with such a strange person. And he says, "It's 50 silver, 5 gold, if you may."
For one ration?
Yes, one pack of dried hardtack and gruel.
I'll pass. Then I just pretty much walk out the store.
I would look to the man and say, I would purchase something. However, and I kind of hold up my empty coin pouch. I do not have any coin for myself.
Well then, if that is how it is, then I'm afraid I have no time for any of you either. Go on, get out of my store.
A good day to you. And I'll turn and leave.
So let's head to the store across the street.
Yep.
Okay. As you enter the the Blood of the Vine Tavern, you can see a single shaft of light that thrusts illumination onto the main square. Its brightness looking like a solid pillar in the heavy fog. Above the gaping doorway, a sign hangs precariously askew, proclaiming that this is the tavern. And as you enter, you can see that there are several people sitting about the relatively small establishment. There is one man who sits by himself, a human villager with long shoulder-length gray hair, and he kind of look like that. And he's kind of sitting off to his side with a big cup of wine in his hand, and you see him kind of slouched at a booth, and he's just kind of drinking his wine and looking at people across the bar. On the other side of the tavern, you see 3 women, and these women definitely stick out. They don't seem like they very much fit in with anything else you've encountered in this strange land so far. But these women are very colorfully dressed. They have these big sheer like scarves that are pulled up over their heads, almost like hoods, and they have big garish clunky jewelry on their wrists and hanging around their neck, and they're kind of sitting off to the side and they're talking and they're very loud and lively, and behind the bar is the only other person in the establishment is the bartender, and this is a very large man, very portly, bald, and he just kind of stands there. He's not doing anything. He's not serving drinks. He's not doing the the stereotypical thing where they're cleaning mugs or wiping off the table. He's just kind of standing there, staring off into space and waiting. Eventually, one of the women kind of holds her hand up and gestures, and he wordlessly collects a drink and fills a cup with wine and walks it over to the table, and then he returns to standing behind the counter and staring wordlessly at the wall.
I will walk up to the barkeep. Would you be able to get us a room?
He kind of blinks and he looks down at you, and then he looks back up at the wall.
Hey, listen to me. Do you know if we could get a room?
A room where?
Here.
We're not an inn. We're a tavern. If you want, I can give you wine. That's all we have.
Walk away. Walking out, don't care about anything. Just want to live.
Okay. Drop a dooski. Thank you for the host, brother. How you doing today? What'd the rest of you like to do?
I would approach the man who sat at the table on his own.
Okay.
And offer a short bow and say, "Please excuse me for interrupting. I was wondering if I might ask you for a question."
And he kind of starts when he sees you, right? It's almost like even though you were standing there and you walked up to him, you made it's not like you snuck up on the guy. He just kind of looks up and I didn't see you there. I was deep in the thought. Yes, go ahead. I'm sorry. What was your question?
My companions and I are looking for somewhere to rest, perhaps somewhere to tend our wounds. Do you know of such a place in this town?
I'm sorry, you need somewhere to rest?
Yes, and to tend to our wounds.
How did you come about such grievous injuries?
House fell on top of us. Gah!
A house? What do you mean a house?
A home at the end of the town. We were inside as the building began to collapse.
So, where are you from? You're a very odd-looking bunch. And he kind of eyes over, the kobold, the dragonborn, the bullywug, and the Aarakocra. He's like, we don't see many strangers here.
Listen, sir, could you just answer the question? Where's somewhere we would be able to rest?
Look, I will be more than happy to help you. I really would. I need to... I'm curious, is all. I'm sorry, where are my manners? I am Ismark Kolyanovich. I am a noble and a friend to the burgomaster. We've actually been in need of someone as strong as yourselves. And he kind of takes his fingers and he pinches your longsword, and he's like, it's real. You're really here. I thought I might be going mad.
What?
He kind of stands up very suddenly. He's like, tell me, did you see a man on the road? He was supposed to get help. Did you speak with him?
No, I saw no such person.
Oh, wait. Was he carrying a letter?
Yes! He had a letter. It was my letter. It was a message. I was trying to... So he did find you.
Did the message read this? And I actually show him that I wrote down what the letter said.
His face drains of color as he looks at it. He's like, why is the letter stained in blood?
Fortunately, the man met with his end of the hand of what appeared to be some sort of savage beast.
We found the letter.
Oh no. This is terrible. Look, I think we should go. Let me take you to the burgomaster's mansion. I'm sure we could find you a place to rest, and we'll get everything sorted out. But I mean, would you like a drink, something to eat? Surely, have you traveled far? And he starts like fluttering and asking all kinds of questions.
Okay, can I make an insight check on the guy just to see if he's being genuine about wanting to help us?
Yeah. He's being genuine. As he realized that you were here, and that you are adventurers, he seems very excited, almost hopeful. It's a very drastic change from the dour expression he had when he first walked in.
I would turn to the rest of the party and say, I believe we can trust this man. He seems to genuinely wish to help us. Plus, there will likely be a favor in return.
I don't know. Even who the closest will still turn away from you. There's something great enough.
So he stands up and he grabs a coat that was sitting in the booth next to him, and he starts to put it on. And as he does, the three women get up and they kind of start approaching all of the group. And one of the women in the front seems to be the youngest of the three, very beautiful. She kind of looks Arius right in the face, and she says, "Oh, travelers, you say? Tell me, young one, where are you from?"
Well, it does not appear to be here. I've never heard of this place, Barovia. Where is it?
Oh, Barovia is a
Never
very
even seen
special
it on a
place.
sort of map.
It is at the same time everywhere and nowhere. And upon hearing this, Ismark kind of, makes a face almost like he smelled something bad. He's like, "Oh, don't listen to them. These Vistani are full of nonsense and fairy tales."
I kind of back up to him and I'm like, wait, what do you mean?
The woman makes a dismissive gesture, and she's like, "Fairy tales. You will see how much the Vistani know." And then she kind of gestures again to Arius. "And if you would like to see what we know, the Vistani, we are camped just outside of town. You're welcome to come and sleep with us." And she kind of puts her hand up. She's like, "We will make a room for you, and we will put you up for the night. You'll even be allowed to have an audience with Madame Eva. She will tell you all." Alright, see you, Dusky. Thanks for the host again, bye.
Okay, so again, I'd like to try and make an insight check on the lady.
Sure. Okay, you can't detect any hint of deception.
A tempting offer. Friends, what are your thoughts?
Go ahead, Fester. But I'll tell you, well, it wouldn't be Arcana. The Vistani are people native to Barovia. You wouldn't have experienced them before.
I kind of just lean over to Arias. I just say we kind of get out of here. I don't like these people.
I'll kind of go back. Well, who would you like to take up on that offer of rest? The women here.
Either one.
This
I
man.
offer help. We go. They betray. I pick out eyes.
I'll go with the guy.
And you, Krith, do you have a preference?
Sounds like the burgomaster is one that may control the town. We must speak with him.
Yes, friends, please come with me. It's not far. It's much closer than the stupid Vistana camp. And the women just kind of scowl.
I would look to the women and say, well, the group has spoken. However, at some point we may call on your hospitality and perhaps trade stories and experiences.
No.
They kind of look at each other and back to you, and they're like, yes, we would much enjoy this. We'll be camped outside of town for several days. You're welcome to come anytime.
You are most gracious. And I offer a bow as I turn to leave with the man.
Okay. Ismark walks out into the road and starts gesturing, "Come, men, come! We must go, quickly!" And he starts leading you down the road to the burgomaster's mansion. And E4. As he walks up to the gates that lead into this structure that's much larger than any other in town, you see that it's a very weary looking mansion behind a rusted iron fence, and the gates have been twisted and torn apart. Like the gate, one gate is lying on the road, the other one has been twisted and just hangs, and it's in shambles. The stuttering squeal and clang of the gate repeats with mindless precision as the wind blows it against the stone, and weeds are choking the grounds and press with menace upon the house itself. And as you approach the building, you can see that the walls bear heavy claw markings that have stripped the once beautiful finish off up to about a height of 7 feet. So from the ground 7 feet up, you just see claw markings that rake almost every inch of the structure. And you can also see that there are great black marks that tell of fires that have been burning the outsides of this mansion. And none of the windows have a single pane or shard of glass in any of them. All the windows are barred with planks, and each one you can see has been marked with red stains on the outside. They look to have been painted on in the form of some kind of sigil or rune.
Okay. I would, as I'm walking, I would try and sketch the sigil, whatever it is.
Okay.
And ask what the man mean. Ask the man what it means. What does this symbol on the windows? What does that mean?
Not out here. It's not safe. Let's get us inside, quick, before sundown.
Okay, this seems really sketchy.
Very well. Sure, yeah. Follow the guy inside.
Okay. Does anybody not want to go inside?
I'm fine with it.
I'm good.
Okay. As you enter, the interior of the mansion is well furnished, yet the fixtures show signs of great wear. Noticeable oddities are the boarded up windows once again, and as you look around the main chamber floor, you can see that there are easily identifiable holy symbols in every room. And as you enter, lying in the center of the Great Hall, there is a simple wooden coffin surrounded by wilting flowers and a faint odor of decay.
This is not a promising sight.
This is just one of the many things you have to get used to here. Here, just come and take a seat. Let us go into a side room where the smell is not quite so distracting, and I will tell you all.
Sure, yeah. Why not?
I follow.
Alright, so he kind of ushers you off into a side room. And in this side room, again, there's more furnishings here, and he starts grabbing like chairs and kind of loosely arranging them in like a circle, and he takes a seat. And then he kind of gestures for the rest of you to take a seat.
Sure, I'll take a seat.
So he kind of folds his hands, right? And he puts them in his lap, and he kind of hunkers down, and he stares at the floor for a long time before he begins to speak. And then he eventually says, he's like, this house is cursed. We are beset every night by the devil himself. And I'm begging you, have some mercy. I need you to rescue my sister.
I don't know whether or not you notice, my friend, but we're not in much condition to be able to defend you against monsters, let alone the devil himself.
Oh, I understand. This is all must be very strange, but you don't understand. It has been many years since we've seen any adventurers come into the lands of Ravenloft, and I'm afraid you may very well be stuck here.
Now that is something I do not like the sound of.
Tell me, how about did you arrive here? What do you know?
I cannot speak for my companions, but for myself, I was poring over some old tomes in the library in Candlekeep when I awoke in a forest surrounded by mist.
The forest. I am not surprised. It's where many people first come to Ravenloft. And what of the rest of you? Did you also arrive in the forest?
Yes.
That I did.
And when you were in the forest, did you see the fog? I'm sure you did. It's everywhere. It's even in the city.
Yes, it was surrounding everything. In fact,
and when you agree and you say yes, he takes his finger and he points it straight at your face. He's like, "Did you try to walk through the fog?"
No.
found it out.
He kind of nods a little bit and he leans back in his chair. He's like, "It's probably best that you did not. The fog that surrounds this land, it is very strange. It has properties unlike anything ever witnessed. And in all of the books that we have within the town, many people have tried to observe its effects, but unfortunately not many are able to complete the task. You see, those that walk into the fog either they become disoriented and confused, and then they find themselves right back inside Barovia. Others have reported that the fog itself seems to choke the life out of them, and many have died trying to escape it. And there are many more that say that if you breathe in the fog, it will steal your very mind. And so it is quite impossible to escape. So whatever has brought you into Barovia, whether you have wandered into here or you have brought your if you have willingly sought us out, I'm afraid you are stuck here now. And my plight is very much your own.
I see. But that does not change the fact that you have brought us to a house that is regularly attacked, and then, but we have no ability to defend ourselves.
Are those not weapons on your back? And he points to Kriv and to Aswin. And he points to the mark on your forehead. Is that not a spell-casting rune? Is that not a focus? And he points over to Fester. He's like, I recognize you for what you are. You are adventurers.
Yes, but how can we fight if we are not in any shape?
I'm not asking you to fight anyone, sirs. If anything, all I'm asking you to do is run. But I need you to take my sister with you.
Will we be safe in this house?
In this house? No. You've seen the area outside, right? You've seen what we've had to deal with. And I'm afraid that we are beset by demons and monsters and all types of other ghoulish figures under Strahd's command on a nightly basis. And we will continue to be as long as my sister Irina remains. You have to get her out of here. There is a town far to the northwest called Kresk. If you take her to Kresk, she should be relatively safe. They have a massive wall built up around the city, and I've heard that they are free from the devil's influence. This is what I ask of you. You needn't fight if you don't have to. I need you to get my sister from this place. Here in Barovia is much too close to his castle. It is too easy for him to send his hordes and minions against my family. And sadly, and he looks over to the casket in the other room, we are ill-equipped to protect her on our own.
I see. And how long until these beasts attack?
He looks out the window, and it's early morning, right? And he looks out the window and he says, well, we have until the sun goes down.
And do you believe we can reach this town by then?
Oh, heavens, no. It will take many days to travel from here to Kresk. But I'm afraid as long as we are moving, then as long as we keep moving and we do not stay in one place, maybe they will not know our location and we can stay ahead of the demon.
It is perhaps worth a chance. However, we must rest and tend our wounds.
Yes, well then, please, we have furnishings, guest bedrooms. Gather your strength during the day, and then we'll try to wait through the night for the monsters to pass, and then we'll leave first thing in the morning.
This sounds like an agreeable plan. What of the rest of you?
The rest of
The
who?
party, I asked them what they think.
Yes, rest good.
As you guys are agreeing to this, you hear a woman's voice echo out from behind you. That is not acceptable, brother. And you see a woman coming down the main staircase.
Is this your sister?
Aye, it is. Everyone, I would like you to meet my wonderful sibling. This is Irina. And you see she's wearing some light armor, and she's brandishing a short sword. And she says, I am fully capable of protecting myself. You should just let me and me alone make the journey to Kresk. There's no need to jeopardize these people. And besides, we have much more pressing matters. I will not leave our father here in this box. He needs a proper burial. Barrier? Mulligan. He needs a proper burial. And he needs to be buried in the rites of the Morning Lord. He needs to be sanctified as he's lowered into the ground to protect him against the demons' magics and machinations.
Well, we got a gravedigger right here, and I kind of bump Fester forward.
Yes. Fester rises to his feet. Now, with the check I just made, would he know how to perform this ritual?
Are you a cleric?
No.
Oh, there's your answer. So she looks at you and he's like, just digging a hole is not sufficient. We need to take him to Father Donovan on the northern end of town.
This would be the church that was mentioned.
Yes.
A priest of Lathander. This may be a good place to go and visit. Such priests often have things such as healing magics and such. Of course, if they have the correct training.
He very well may. That I do not know. All I know is that I will not leave my father to lay here and rot for Strahd to use and turn against us.
How about, well, you come with us so we can make sure you get there safely. Your brother buries your father.
She just looks at you coldly. I said I will not leave.
From the demons and such creatures that attack this place at night.
It will not take long. You can get my father to the church and be back before nighttime.
Fine, let us go.
Yes, I too agree. Seems like the best course of action.
Okay. Fireworks. So she puts her sword in her sheath, and she finishes walking down the steps, and she joins the rest of you, and she says, "No, we will go to the church together. I would like to say goodbye." And then you see Ismark very frustrated with this whole thing. Look, he is dead. His life does not matter anymore. The only thing that matters is you and your safety. And they begin to bicker and argue.
Okay, At this clatter, Fester lets out a loud "Ah!" and bangs his shovel on the ground and says, we bury sod, then go to town. Matter over.
Okay. And so they all join you in taking the burgomaster to his final place of rest. Okay, and it's a very long and troublesome journey through town, because the box is very heavy. And as you make your way through town, you need to rest, Arius. Making your way through town, you can see that a lot of people, when they look at you, they kind of shirk away and avoid you. And as you progress, it's very, very quiet, same as before, and the only sounds that you can hear are that woman sobbing very loudly. And as you go through the town, it actually sounds like it's coming from some location on this road. Okay? But that's not why we're here. We are going to church. Right? Right. Church. So as you approach, you have to let me get my notes. As you approach the church, atop a slight rise against the roots of the pillar stone that supports Ravenloft Castle, stands a gray, sagging edifice of stone and wood. This church has obviously weathered the assaults of evil for centuries on end and is worn and weary. A bell tower rises toward the back, and flickering light shines through holes in the shingled roof. The rafters strain feebly against their load. And you can see, once again, the heavy wooden doors of the church are covered with claw marks and scarred by fire.
Okay, I walk up and knock on the door.
Okay. The door opens to reveal a 10-foot wide, 20-foot long hall leading to a brightly lit chapel. The hall is unlit and reeks of mildew. You can see 4 doors, 2 on each side of the hall, lead to adjacent chambers. Let me gonna move you guys to a new map. Can you stop moving? Okay, there we go. Everybody's in. It's a fun time. Are these supposed to be 5 foot? Okay. Bam. There we go. You guys were too tiny. That's what I get for copying you from a 10-foot square to a 5 foot. Anywho. So, you guys enter the church, and you can see a soft voice shouts out, "Who's there?" as the priest is startled, right? You can see that the chapel is strewn with debris, and there is just shattered pews and shingles from pieces of collapsed ceiling everywhere. The priest looks at you with a weary expression on his face. "How can I help you, children?"
Are you the priest of this temple?
I am Donovich.
Donovich, it is a pleasure to meet you. My name is Arius. My companions and I have come to ask you to perform a burial ritual on somebody.
Oh yes. I would be more than happy to bury. Who did you say?
Please. I kind of motion to Irina to sort of step forward, and
She walks forward and begins to explain the circumstances of her father's death and how she wants him buried. But as she does, she is interrupted by an inhuman scream that rings out through the church from what appears to be underneath. And as this blood-curdling howl is unleashed, you see Father Donovich just closes his eyes and winces.
so assuming you are not alone.
It is only me here. Please, you all must go now.
I thought you had said you would perform the burial.
I've changed my mind. I am much too busy. Please, I'm asking you to go.
Token's still 5 foot.
It's because you're a frog.
Oh, okay. No, who was that?
It doesn't concern you. Please. And he kind of drops to his knees and he puts his hands in a praying position. He says, please, just leave. Just turn around and leave.
I smell evil in this place.
I don't think that's how you.
I begin looking around.
Okay. As you are looking around, another blood-curdling howl erupts. And you can tell that it's coming from, it seems loudest next to this door, down here.
Fester emits an almost equally blood-curdling shriek. Here! Come on out! We have one more body to bury. Here!
There is no response to you, Fester. Just more screaming and wailing.
Just open the door, Fester.
Okay. Opening the door, right? You see that there is a small room here, okay? And this room is completely empty. The only thing that is in this room, you can see that there are pools of water and shingles and debris from the collapsed roof, and there is a trap door that you can assume leads down into a cellar, and there is a thick, heavy chain that lays across the cellar door that is padlocked shut. And as you enter into this room, Father Donovich begins to yell, "No! Please! You have to leave him alone!"
Why?
Just, he won't hurt anybody. It's my son.
I move over to him. I say, those sounds were not the sound that a normal human creature would make. What has become of your son?
He's sick. He has an affliction.
And what is the nature of this affliction?
He just kind of casts his eyes to the ground and doesn't respond.
I'll kind of place a hand on his shoulder and say, please, perhaps there is something we can do to help.
There is nothing you can do.
Strange how so far in this town you're the only one who has not asked the group of adventurers for aid of some sort since we got here.
Only the Morning Lord can help my son. And he clasps his hands again in prayer, and he looks up to the sky.
And are you not a priest of the Morning Lord?
The Morning Lord has long forgotten the residents of Ravenloft. He has not shunned his grace on Barovia in many years. But still I pray that he will save my son.
Now, I may not be a priest of the Morning Lord. However, I do know of him. And from what I can gather, he does not give up on anybody. Even in such times of darkness, there must always be one who carries his light. You as a priest must be that man.
Your words mean a lot to Father Donovich. Except it may not have the effect that you think. Instead of rallying him to be bold and act, you're reminding him of his failures and shortcomings. And he collapses on the ground in a heap and just sobs.
Now is not the time for that.
He doesn't respond to you. He just keeps crying.
Okay. Very well.
In the
Then we
meantime,
shall-
Asuin, what are you doing? I think he's AFK. Cough. Kriv? Fester? What are you guys doing seeing all this?
Fester hobbles up to Ardius and says, we cannot afford to be charity for whole town. Do you perhaps know the ritual that this man needs to be buried?
It is possible that I may have notes on the words of the ritual, but I am no priest of
As
that
you guys are
family.
having this conversation, you're interrupted as another scream cuts through the church. Save me! It hurts, Father! Save me!
At that sound, I pretty much rush into a room to try and open up the door.
Okay. And remember, it's heavy lock, right? So how are you going to try and get in there?
I think I might be able to do this.
I guess with Oswin's help
All
to
right.
try and open it up.
Oh. All right. So here's what's going to happen, right? Asuin takes a swing with his greatsword, and you hit the lock. It doesn't do anything, but you also hit the cellar door, and being wood that's been sitting in this water, it's very wet and it's not very sound anymore. You just kind of puncture through and start chipping away until the lock is very much still there and in place, but now you just cut up the door so that you can get down the ladder.
Entrance.
I'm sorry, the stairs.
Do you want me to head down first?
No, I'll jump down first, ahead of him.
Okay. Anybody else? You guys hear a loud crashing sound, and then you hear a voice. Who are you? Are you here to help me?
I'll hearing that, I'll start making my way over.
I'll stay behind.
Yes, Fester will stay and watch the priest for now.
I call out to the boy and try to ask him, what is wrong with you? What help do you need?
You see in the corner. Okay. There is a young boy, right? Deathly pale. and his hair is very stringy. It looks like he's been starved, and his skin is just clinging to his bones, right? And he's grasping his stomach. He's doubled over, and he's kind of like crouched down in the corner, and he's saying, "I'm starving. Please help me."
I walk over. And I throw him a ration.
Okay. You see he sees it, and as he does, you hear the clinking of chains, and he moves to try and grab the ration, but it's outside of his reach. He's like, "Please, closer! I can't reach it. I'm starving."
I like kick it to him.
Okay. As you inch a little bit closer, you see that this boy, as soon as you take just another step forward, this boy lunges out at you. Obviously, the chains give him much more freedom than he was leading on, and as he lunges forward, you get your first good look at him. And you can see that in addition to being pale and having, being very emaciated, like I said, you can also see that his front teeth are elongated and very sharp. And as he lunges at Asuin, you can see he's lunging, face forward, mouth open, ready to strike. Asuin, can you do me a favor? Just make a dexterity save. Okay, so you manage to leap back out of the way, and you avoid him chomping down on top of you. And at this point, I need everybody to go ahead and roll initiative.
Oh, I'm gonna feel bad now.
And the boy is standing there looking at you, and he's got his hands at his side. His mouth is open. He's like, "I'm going to eat you." Okay, those of you who are upstairs, you hear this yelling, right? You can't hear what Asuin or Kriv have said, but you can hear the boy, because everything he says is just yelling, right? And then you can hear Asuin shout out as he is attacked. So, Fester, what would you like to do now?
Gives an exasperated sigh and mumbles to himself, "Must go save minions." And he scrambles for the trapdoor.
Okay, go ahead and move up to your speed.
And I think that's as far as he can go.
Okay, so then for your action for the turn, are you just gonna end and dodge, or are you gonna dash, or what would you like to do?
Hold on, I think I can also fly 50 feet. Or
You could,
would I be able to do
but
that in here?
This is a very small enclosure, so you wouldn't be able to fly here.
Oh, could I just say that I flew to this room here and then took the rest of my movement speed as walking?
No, actually, you could not, because if you flew to this room here, that would be over your ground speed, and you would still be done.
Okay, well...
You can't, split your fly and your move. Or at least not like that.
Oh, okay. Well, there's not much I can do right here, so I suppose ready in action to attack anything that comes out.
Okay. Alright, the creature is going to take its turn now. Alright. And it... you see it lunges, it runs right past the two of you, okay? And as it does, it takes its hands, right? And it just kind of, lashes out with its claws one time at each of you. So, Asuin.
Are you?
All right. Well, and then again at Kriv.
Yep.
5, 10, and then he's gonna keep running, going for the exit. So Kriv, you will get to take a leaving engagement attack.
How do you get out the chains?
You can see he's still attached to the chains. They're just very long. They give him full movement around the chamber. Okay. After that, you see him. He moves his full amount, right? And then that is going to be the end of his turn. Arius?
Okay, so from here, I will begin heading down the stairs.
Alright, so that's 5.
Okay, I'll continue moving. So I'll move down here, and I'll see this creature as he is. I will raise my my book, and the light on it begins to glow even more brightly, to a point where it becomes a searing, burning light almost, as I cast Turn Undead.
Okay. I knew I had a sheet just... There it is. And what is it again? Wisdom save. So there it is. He is definitely turned. Boop, he gets a P dot. Alright, are you finished?
Yeah, that's the end of my turn.
Alright. So you turn undead, he just kinda and he puts his hands up and kinda tries to shield himself from your turn. Asuin, it is your turn. Alrighty. And then Kriv?
Alright. Kriv is going to rush forward to try to stop him and swing again with his longsword.
Okay. It's a hit.
And that would be it.
Snug?
Oh, Snug will come over here and peek around the corner. Oops. Oh, I guess that's kind of peek around the corner. And he'll just, like, scared, senseless, just nervously look, and then he'll look back at the priestly gentleman and yell, "What in the hell was that?"
Priest just sits and sobs. It's not useful for much more else. Alright, Fester.
Okay, Fester steps into the basement.
Actually, real quick, what are the other two doing at the doorway?
You mean Irina and Ismark?
Yeah, like, what's their reaction?
Ismark puts his arm out and kind of is trying to push Irina out of the way, and he's drawn his weapon. Irina's just standing there scowling at her brother.
Do they look like this is like an everyday event for them?
No. They seem just as surprised as you are.
Okay, good.
Fester?
Okay, I stepped into the basement.
Okay, so that's 5 feet of movement.
I moved down here, and Fester, his eyes sort of light up, and he doesn't look quite as barmy as he usually does. And what he's doing now, he's basically going through his mind and coming through everything he knows about vampires specifically. So would that be an Arcana check or history or something?
History. Okay. I will whisper that information to you.
Okay. And besides that, I think that is my action.
Alright, Doru is going to take his turn. He has to run away. Alright, using both his normal movement and the dash. He's going to return to the corner where he was originally and resume hiding. Now, he does leave your engagement, Kriv, so you can make a opportunity attack. $17 is a hit. Okay, and it was a trap. All right, so he starts to run away, right? And then you turn around and thwap him with your longsword. And when you do, you can see he kind of straightens up and he blinks, and then he turns and scowls at Arius. So we have moved 5, 10, 15, 25. What's up, dog? And he's going to try to smack Arius. That is a hit, correct?
That is a hit.
Okay. He is going to choose to deal no damage. And when he does... yeah, he is going to bite you. Bite is... it automatically hits because you're grappled. So you're going to take 9 piercing and 7 necrotic. And then you need...
Okay.
and then you need to take a... oh, nothing. There is no roll. Sorry, my bad.
Okay.
Okay. Arius, it is your turn.
Okay. I will attempt to break out of this grapple. And fail. And since I'm grappled, I can't move, so I guess that's the end of my turn.
Okay. Aswin. Oh, Disco. Okay. Actually, Aswin, Adame Disco blessed you with a nat 20. So you're going to go ahead and burn it there. You'll stand up with 1 hit point. And even though that's great and all, also, Rarlika What is cursed you with a nat 1. So you got that coming. He's like, woohoo! Oh. Alright, what are you doing for turn?
I'll run up and hit it, which is nat 1.
Yeah, right. Nat 1. Oh, no, you missed it. Fortunately, I am slacking. I still haven't pulled in the crit fumble trips for this. Alright, anyway.
That's it.
Ismark. 25, 30. You see him run in from upstairs. And you see him pull out a crossbow and fire it. The creature is too fast and dodges out of the way. Grip?
Alright, so I'm going to step forward and use my bonus action to cast Wrathful Smite. And only effects happen if I hit it with my longsword.
Right. Okay, that is a hit.
So then it needs to make a wisdom check against my spell save DC, which is 13,
Okay.
or be frightened.
Okay. Fail. So it's going to take that. And now he is scared. Got it. Anything else?
That'd be it.
Alright, Snug.
I just saw the guy go in, so I'm gonna trail in behind him.
Is that, what, I don't remember. What's the move speed for kobolds?
Oh yeah, that's right. Forgot. 5, 10, 15, 20,
You move
25, 30. Okay, yeah. So yeah, 30.
It is 30. I couldn't remember if it was 30 if it was 25 like dwarves. So, okay, you're good.
It's 30.
So 30, standing there, you're looking down in the hole, that leads down into the cellar. You can't really see anything from that vantage point.
Okay.
You just gotta end your turn?
Yep. I'll be just cautiously here.
Okay. Fester.
Okay, so what does the ceiling look like? Is it stone or a bunch of floorboards over beams?
Yeah, it's stone up into the ceiling. The ceiling is floorboards.
Okay. Well, for now, I think what Fester's going to do instead is take his shovel and aim at the vampire's mouth and, swing, trying to break his teeth.
Okay. 14 is a miss. As you swing your shovel, you see him just kind of throw his arm up and block and bat it aside.
Okay, with that, Fester merely screams at the group, "Ha! Bind him!"
Doru would take his turn. He is frightened because of Kriv's attack. And so he is going to... Oh dear. He's first going to turn and slash at Kriv. Man, my rolls are scary. Kriv take 8. And then he is going to turn around and slash at Fester. Oop, that's not a slash. Slash at Fester. 11. That's a miss.
Misses.
Okay. And Arius. Oh, I have disadvantage. I didn't even roll with disadvantage. Let me roll that one that hit Kriv again, so it's fair. 15. Does that still hit Kriv?
Miss.
Alright, there you go. You did not take 8 damage. It's like I don't know what Frighten does or something. Alright, Arius?
Okay, so Arius still grappled. He's going to try and Sacred Flame, is the light in his book, will just kind of sear up and try and burn the face of this vampire. If it can.
Alright, DC 13. We'll leave it. Radiant energy comes down and burns it, and you see him hiss and recoil with fear. He kind of falls to the ground and starts batting away. No, please, stop! Aswin?
Can I try to restrain it?
You
Like
could
grapple?
try. You can try anything. This what's the beauty of this game, right?
Would I roll like athletics or strength?
Oh yeah, yes. They're the same. They're the same thing. It's just if you have athletics, you have a proficiency bonus. All right. So you're gonna roll 25, and he failed. So you've managed to restrain Doru, or grapple Doru.
That is it.
All right. Ismark at the top of the stairs. He is going to fire his crossbow. Pew! And hit. Kriv?
Alright, so I'm going to swing with my longsword again.
Alright, 10 is a miss.
And that's it.
Yeah, I should pay attention to these. Alright. Snug.
Get me downstairs.
Alright, so 5 feet of movement puts you right there. It's a very narrow set of stairs, and there's a balcony on your left, and Ismark is currently blocking your way. I'm sure you want to get down there, right?
Can I shoot from here, or?
Yeah, you can shoot. Yep.
Okay, I'll do that.
Oh, nice.
Oh.
Okay.
And I'll just hang out with my new friend in front of me.
Fester?
Okay, I'm going to step over here, and about how high are the ceilings?
In this section, about 20 feet.
All right. I'm going to use my inspiration here, or my nat 20, whatever, if I can, to maybe use my wings and sort of vault up to the ceiling and poke a hole in the church floorboards, letting light in over the vampire.
Okay. I would make you roll athletics. You have a nat 20, so boop, it's gone. So, yes, the ceiling is tall enough for you to fly. Going up to the ceiling, using your shovel to kind of break apart the floorboards, it's not even difficult, right? Remember, we said that the roof had collapsed and that there had been water leaking in. Well, it's made those floorboards very weak and spongy. And as you walk up, you puncture through, and the sunlight shines down into the chamber, and Doru begins to writhe on the ground in agony. Please make it stop! I mean,
And that will
look
be
at that
my
face.
action.
How can you do that to that guy? Alright, Doru's turn. He picks himself up off the ground, and he's just going to swing wild. That's not his character sheet. He's just going to start swinging wildly at everything around him. First clawing at Arius. Ayo.
Yep, that's a hit.
Yep. Down he goes. And then clawing at Kriv. That's
Miss.
it. And then Arius, it is your turn. Okay. Aswin?
I assume I can't attack him because I'm grappling him.
No. Yeah, you can choose to either maintain the grapple or end it.
I'll just maintain the grapple.
Okay. Oh shit, you're right. I forgot about that. Next time, Disco.
That's
Ismark going to try and shoot Doru on the ground. Ooh. And then Kriv.
Stab him with the longsword. Nope.
Nope. Snug.
I'll shoot again.
That is a miss.
Fair enough.
Fester.
Okay, about what condition does the vampire look to be in?
Grappled, afraid, writhing in agony at the exposure to the sun. He's not in very good condition at all.
Okay. Professor's going to walk forward and sort of hold out his hands and say, wait! Do not kill him. I would like the opportunity to dissect him.
What? No, please! So what are you doing for your turn?
Well, that's pretty much it. Just
Okay.
asking his compatriots.
So, Doru, still, writhing around on the ground, grappled by Asuin. He's going to lash out and try to slash at Fester. Oh, that's a miss.
Fester is going to cast the spell Shield.
And it's already missing you.
What?
It's already missing you.
It was 15. That. Oh, right. Never mind. Sorry.
It's all right.
I was looking at the wrong bubble.
It's all right because he's gonna attack you again. Oh, ho, ho, ho. Oh, now you shield, and it's relevant.
Yeah.
Okay. So he tries to hit you, and then he's sad. Arius? Arius, you have a nat 20. So that nat 20 will go now. You get a critical, and you stand up, and you are no longer unconscious. Hooray!
Whee! Okay then. In that case, I'm going to try and hit him with another sacred flame.
All right.
For all the good that will do.
With disadvantage. Hey, it's one less health than he had a minute ago. All right.
Okay. He's still currently grappling me, right? So I can't move.
Yep. Actually, no. He let go of you because he's being grappled. He's been attacking people. Yeah, he's let go of you.
Okay. Well, there's no point in me moving because he'll get to slash at me again for free. So
Yeah.
I'll stay where I am.
Asuin?
If I let go of the grapple, will I be able to attack?
Sure. You can let go and stand up and then pull out your weapon and stab at it.
Yeah. Only no stabby slash. Aha!
Oh my god, look at that roll.
Leave him in half.
Not quite actually. I mean, not unless you've enchanted your weapon very recently.
I wish.
No. So you wind up and you hit him with a mighty blow, but you see that almost as much as soon as you've cut him, the wound begins to stitch itself back together. Finished?
What? Yes.
Ismark is gonna keep having turns of mediocrity and fire with the crossbow and miss. He's helping. Griff?
Alright, gonna go for a stab.
Hit.
And that's pretty much all I got.
Snug.
Going for mediocrity.
Pew. Hey, it's a hit. Faster.
Okay, a few quick questions. That'd be kind of metagaming. Fester looks over to where the vampire was last chained. Do the chains appear to be broken or still usable?
He's still chained. He never escaped the chains. It's just they are long enough to allow him to move freely around this chamber.
That defeats the point.
Okay. All right. Okay, I think Fester. Oh, no. Just give me a minute to think.
Who is their mic?
I think Fester is just going to try and convince his compatriots to maybe wrap his chains around one of the pillars to shorten his leeway around the chamber to try and trap him.
Okay. Alright, Doru, I'm going to take his turn again. This time, he's going to spend his turn. Oh, he's not grappled anymore. You said you quit your... Uh-huh. And since... No, it doesn't matter. Being afraid doesn't matter either, because sunlight! Alright, anyway. He's just going to continue attacking that damnable squawking bird! Nope. He's just slashing feebly, but it's like as he's slashing, you can see him squinting, trying to shield himself from the light through the hole in the ceiling.
Okay, Arius is going to keep trying to rain down the radiant energy on him.
Oh, shit. Actually, there's no need. Because as he stands there looking at that light coming through the ceiling, you can see his skin begins to boil. And then after swiping at Fester, he just falls to the ground, seemingly dead.
Does he have anything on him?
What? Yes, a chain that's connected to the wall.
Dang it.
Well, we can take that sacred flame for good measure.
Yeah, that was the finishing blow, not the sunlight.
Well, that's just to make sure. So, panting quite heavily, Arius will turn to the rest. This creature was his son. I think he was a little more than sick.
You think?
Perhaps.
The priest will never help us now.
Well, perhaps now the priest can perform a burial with his son to lay his spirit to rest.
I suspect the vampire is not dead yet. He could still return.
But not if the burial.
Anybody catch that? You broke up there.
But not if the burial is performed.
Fester, have you dealt with this type of stuff before?
I have done a great deal of studying creatures of the undead persuasion. And, his eyes kind of grow more shrewd.
So you should know how to keep this thing dead then.
I have... knowledge of these creatures is very elusive. There is little I know besides their weaknesses.
You hear a voice from the top of the stairs. You have to remove his head.
Oh.
And you see Father Donovich is standing there.
It's like,
as
"Okie
you do
dokie."
that, Father Donovich winces and looks away. No, not. I didn't want to see that. And he puts a shaking hand to shield his face from the horrors of you decapitating his son in front of him.
It's survival.
Yes, but there were other ways. What I was going to say was, you have to remove his head, stake him through the heart, bury him under running water. There are many ways to stop them from rising again. But you didn't let me finish. And he looks mournfully at the son.
Well, perhaps now you can perform a burial for your son.
He kind of just
Finally allow him to rest.
he just kind of walks down, and he kind of collapses over the body and just hugs his dead son. My boy.
Leave him to his grief and head back upstairs for now.
I will do the same.
Before Fester leaves, he speaks to the cleric. Contact me when you wish to bury son. I will help.
Yes, I will. We'll bury him and Father Donovich right away. And Father Donovich and the burgomaster. I'll help. Just give me a moment with him alone.
And Fester merely bows his head in an odd gesture of solidarity and hobbles away.
Okay. You can still hear the man grieving downstairs. Is there anything you'd like to say to each other, or before we move forward?
I would turn to Ismark and say, by the way, you never did tell me what the symbol on your doors and windows were.
They're, it's an old superstition. My father thought they would help keep Strahd away.
And do they work?
He just looks at you blankly. What do you think?
Well, by appearances, the house has not been breached.
Arius, you fool. The guy's dead. Okay, listen, it didn't work.
It is all of you that are fools. If you had not breached into basement, the priest would not have to bury son and would not be distraught.
Listen, it's life. Stuff like that happens.
No.
Yes, stupid happens.
It shouldn't be just stuff like that happens, Father Donovich says as he walks it back up into the chamber. It's like, this is Strahd's doing. This was my punishment.
Tell me, we've heard much of the Strahd. Who is he exactly?
He kind of looks up around at the five of you, then to Ismark. Where have they came from? How do they not know about the Lord of Ravenloft?
My friend, I do not even know what Ravenloft is.
The priest makes a grand gesture, very sarcastic. You know, he kind of sweeps his arms all around and spins in a circle. This is Ravenloft. Everything as far as you can see within the mist is Ravenloft. And this town is Barovia, within the beautiful lands owned by Baron von Strahd. He is the lord and master of the land. And he is a demon, a devil. He did this. And he kind of, you can see he's clenching his fist and he's shaking with rage.
Is he too a vampire? I saw a statue of a man fitting this description in a house at the edge of town. It appeared to be a vampire.
He's like, he may very well be. Nobody really knows exactly what Strahd is. He is some powerful control over the land itself, the weather, the animals. Everything bends to Strahd's will. And it is said that he is centuries old, that he originally became the Lord of Barovia over 800 years ago.
800 years, that's such a long time. I start pulling out my my book and start scribbling some notes down. Lord of the land, able to control the weather and animals, blah blah blah. Sort of bullet points.
Okay.
Fester sort of mumbles to himself, I see. If we are to leave this land, we must kill its lord. And he turns to the priest and says, if it brings you any comfort, when I find this Strahd, I shall dissect him for you.
Oh, Ismark! You do have some very foolish ones, haven't you? You cannot kill Strahd. How inane must you be to even think that you could try? Do you not understand? Strahd is an incapable being of ancient evil. My son, my poor boy, do you want to know what happened to Doru? That unholy beast walked right into this chapel dedicated to the Morning Lord, to everything good and holy in the world. And do you know what happened when that accursed being set foot on this hallowed ground? Nothing. Nothing happened. He walked in here. He destroyed everything that I held dear. And then he turned my son into and bent him to his will just to spite me. Told me to pray until he was well again. He is in a being of immeasurable darkness. You couldn't possibly defeat him.
Men of the light like you do not know the powers of darkness, or that it will take darkness to defeat it. And as Fester's saying this, he sort of has a very unusually grim look in his eyes. I have been availed of many secrets. Strahd will meet his end.
Well, we will see about that, won't we? They tell stories in our land. Heroes from centuries past, purported to have destroyed Strahd long ago. Obviously untrue, as he still sits there in Ravenloft and commands his armies as always.
What if you just got the stories wrong? What if the stories were a prophecy?
Prophecy? It's very strange. It matters not. We must hurry with the burial procedures before we lose too much more daylight.
Yes, of course. Forgive me. I myself am a priest, and if there's anything I can do to help, please.
He gestures to the casket and he says, "Carry that."
Sure. Yeah. To the casket.
I'll help carry it.
Okay. He goes back down into the cellar, and he comes up a moment later, and you see he's wrapped Doru's body in this white cloth that is stained crimson around the head and neck area. You can also see that it's very oddly shaped, as there is no head under the sheet, and it seems that it's currently resting on the corpse's chest, and he's carrying them together in just a lumpy mass. He brings him upstairs and pushes for the door and says, "Come, follow me out into the cemetery."
Sure, do that.
Right. He lays the boy down, and he goes to a shed and procures shovels for everyone. Says, "We must all work this day if we want to be finished before nightfall."
Sure, yeah. Grab a shovel, start digging.
Okay, and that will take the majority of the rest of the day, right? Everybody digging, toiling for 2 graves, and after it's all finished, you lower down the bodies, cover them back up with soil, and Father Donovich begins sprinkling the graves with holy water and reading incantations from a book, psalms, praises to the morning Lord, hoping that the deceased will find peace and rest. After that is all over, he ushers everyone inside, as nightfall will quickly be upon us, and he's afraid you don't have time to return to the burgomaster's mansion.
So, is he suggesting that we stay here?
Yep.
I turn to Ismark and is it Irina?
Yep.
I turn to them and what do you two think? Can we make it back in time?
Irina looks up and she says, I agree with Father Donovich. We'll be just as safe here as we would be at the mansion.
Then let
Very well. Then let us do what we can to make it best. Is there anything we should do to prepare for the coming of night? I asked the priest.
He just shakes his head. He says that even though Strahd himself can enter the chapel, many of his minions cannot, and that we should be relatively safe here.
Okay, I nod and find somewhere to go sit and begin to rest. Start scribbling down notes, thoughts of the day, things like that.
Okay. And everybody finds a small, shattered, portion of pew to rest on, or sets themselves up in a corner, and begins to sleep through the night. However, your rest is not peaceful and serene as much as you would probably hope. As midway through the night, Irina stands hovering above you, Fester. She nudges you until you wake.
Ugh, what is it?
Wake up. Get your friends.
Is there danger?
Possibly. It would help to be at the ready.
Okay. Fester rather, he hops up and goes over and pokes his compatriots with his beak until they wake up, none too gently.
Up.
What is it?
So you stupid bird.
What's going on?
Shh. Keep your voices down, friend. Just look. And Irina points out the window. As you look out the window, you see that there is a green light that seems to have suffused the graveyard. It emanates from the soil itself, from the tombstones and trees around, and everything around has this eerie phosphorescence. From this light, you begin to see shapes, humanoid. However, they're translucent, and you can see through them. They're fleeting images. Sometimes a face, hair waving as in a breeze that does not exist. Arms, trailing at their side as they travel through the graveyard. Wavering images of women toting greatswords, woodsmen carrying axes, dwarves with glittering armor, just fleeting images throughout this green, eerie light. And all of these images begin to move in the same direction, traveling up the hill towards the castle that stands towering over everything. As you look onward, there are literally hundreds of these souls moving in a ghostly procession towards Castle Ravenloft.
What are they?
Father Donovich speaks up quietly. He says, "They're the souls, warriors, spilled their blood on this land. Even in death, they still serve Strahd. No one can escape here. He owns everything," and he kind of looks over his shoulder. "Even you now. If you're unfortunate enough to die in these lands, you will join them." And no sooner than he says it, you see, in the ghostly procession, Galactic Garrus walking by, rifle in hand. Lord Edward, Kong, their souls forever trapped in service of Baron Strahd.
Kind of hang our head. If only we could have brought them with us.
But we couldn't.
After a few hours, the eerie green light begins to dim, and it seems that with each hour, the green phosphorescence begins to dim, and the sky begins to brighten. And before you know it, the sun is dawning on a new day. You've made it through the night, and you are able to finish your long rest. And I think after all that excitement, that might be a good place to stop for today. I know it's early, but we're missing a couple people, and I don't want to get too far ahead with people out. So thanks everybody for coming and hanging out. I hope you enjoyed yourself. If you like the story so far, make sure you come back next week. No, not next week. Next week we're on break. Week after next, 7 p.m. Eastern. And also check out the schedule underneath the stream. Lots of events filling up that calendar. Make sure you check it out so that you can come back and see all the days that we're playing D&D on this channel. And join us in our Discord. We hang out there all throughout the week, talk about D&D, Diablo 3, all types of other fun stuff. And I don't know, I think I said everything. I'll see you guys tomorrow morning for Princess of the Apocalypse. Hype!